Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Breakout Racing League Realistic Division for round 13 for the Japanese Grand Prix. I'm Infinite Gamer. I'm going to be the commentator here for the session this evening. We got a grid with 19 drivers here getting started in qualifying one. Just about 60 minutes got remaining still in the session as we're now having cars getting out on their outlaps. So we should start to see some qualifying times get in here pretty soon. Looks like a pretty good grid as well, and we'll have, of course, a quick look at the standings as it is so far. Of course, my first stream here with you guys in BRL, so definitely looking forward to see the competitiveness of the grid that's going to be out there this evening, and how well the race is going to go. Of course, definitely looking forward to what the race will be like. Did quite a few Japanese Grand Prix over the past week to 2 weeks, so definitely interested to see how different it's going to be here with BRL. And it's been quite a while actually since I've been on with an Xbox League as well, so definitely should be quite interesting. I think we're on with the Ferrari of Nat at the moment here on track on a first qualifying lap. I think he was the first driver to get out on track there, so we'll see what sort of qualifying times we'll be looking at here. John there as well on a hot lap at the moment, so looking forward to see what that lap time is going to be like when it does get in here. Of course, they're going to be getting a bit faster on track as we get through the different qualifying sessions and just getting on to qualifying 3, of course, so we'll see how that is going to be looking like. 19 drivers here, we expect about 15 to be going over to qualifying 2, so definitely going to be an interesting qualifying one session to see how many drivers actually make it through that. I think we might just wait for Nat here to get his lap time in, just to see at least one lap time in the session so far to see where we're based at before we do bring up the standings up on screen. We'll have a quick look at what it currently stands at. Of course, again mentioning it is my first time on with you guys here, so do forgive me if I mess up any of the names up on the screen there, so we'll try our best and see what we can do with them. If we do get it a bit wrong, hopefully we can get it right the next time coming around next week, so we'll see what we're doing with that. Anyway, we got it for getting across the line here now, and let's see what the lap time is looking like. It's a 1:30.793 there for Nat in the Ferrari. Not too bad of a time. I know we got John coming around. I'm trying to see how far he is behind there. I think he's finishing off his lap as well, or I think he's slowed down quite a bit here. He might have abandoned this lap here from what we're seeing. I think he did abandon lap, might be going back into the pit lane, is he? Or is he finishing the lap? Not sure. Let's have a look what the time is. It seems a bit slow getting on through that final sector there. It's a 1:48.1 for the Alpine so far. And of course, I'm going to see where the rest of the grid will be at. We got Redeemer there, a 1:33.8. So it'll be a bit spaced out, of course, with the first set of qualifying times that are going to be coming in. That is, of course, going to be expected until we start to get just a bit further on into the session, maybe down to the end of qualifying 1, getting started with qualifying 2. We'll get a bit more competitive as we get through the grid. So 13 drivers still remain in this. We'll switch it on over, of course, to the standings at the moment here and have a look. I'm trying to get a bit closer on the screen so I can see at least what's going on, because I got it on a different screen. So BRL, the realistic division here is we have the driver standings and of course the constructor standings at the moment. Hopefully I updated right. I didn't make a mistake on that. Either way, let's have a look at what it is. So Red Bull, of course, leading the constructor standings there at the moment is 326 points and a significant lead over Alpine in second, 191. Haas currently third, 174 points. Ferrari currently below that with 171. Then Mercedes there in the middle, 165. McLaren beneath them, 114 points. Got AlphaTauri, 77 points. Alfa Romeo, 55 points. Williams, 17. And Aston Martin, unfortunately, just 1 point so far into the season there. So hopefully an improvement after this race session here. I will see how that is going to go. And let's see how badly we're going to mess the names up now. So the driver standings as it is. Let's see who is leading the championship at the moment. It's Boss Cookie leading at the moment. I guess Sczther second with Alpine there, 180 points, and Boss Cookie 181. So top two in the championship at the moment, separated by just 1 point. So that's going to be interesting in this session, see how that works out. Hoopolicious there, 155. You got Dayton, 103. Alphon 88 points, Unsighted 70, Sophian 66, Cam with 56, Axe there in 9th with 55 points, tied off with I think Toothless Death 55 as well. Not currently, we're just following on track there. Currently with 54 points, 11th in the driver standings at the moment. Got Supply Raptor there, 37 points. Veron 32, Phantom, BRL Phantom 32 as well. Heatwave 30 points. BRL Rat 18. Got TTMN Cow in 16 points. Sanchez with 16 points as well. Minko with 14 and Friday with 11 points. I think most of the drivers are in the session currently and running. I'll be running with a few reserves here at the moment as well. But that is it, everyone, for the driver standings and the constructor standings, where they stand there at the moment. I'm going to go back on track here at the moment, see what we got happening with our drivers. So we still got just only 5 lap times in. Let's get the mic back here. Yeah, guys, so we just got still just 5 lap times in so far. Not still fastest here in Q1, of course. John currently second fastest, 131.1. Nat with his 130.7. Toothless Death currently third fastest, 131.4. Redeemer 133.8 and Minko 135. Down to 6 now as PSR Rex Row goes up to 5th fastest. Boss Cookie, the driver who's leading the championship at the moment, goes up on top of the grid here, 130.3. Looks like Nat is out of the session, unfortunately. So something's happened on that part. They're on sighted port here in the standings as well, getting through sector 1 right now on a qualifying lap. Let's see what our lap time is gonna look like when you get around with it here. But yeah, definitely expecting some much closer lap time as we get through the qualifying session. Usually is what the case when we do run a full qualifying session with any league. So looks like Dayton goes up fastest in the session at 129.8. Not too bad of a time there. Of course, we can bring tires on, have a look at what's going on with the tire situation so far. It's going to be a bit of a mixed strategy, going on some mostly running on the soft, some on the mediums. They'll try different things in Q1 just to make sure, of course, that they do make it out of qualifying 1 though into qualifying 2. Okay, so a few more lap times, of course, in here at the moment. I think Alphanesis P10 at the moment, 142.9. Hoopolicious currently 145.2, down to 11th. Okay, so as you said, expecting to get a bit faster as you get through the remainder of qualifying 1, getting into qualifying 2 and 3. I think it was where we get a bit more excited here in the session. But qualifying 1, of course, gotta get the top 15 fastest drivers here into that session. We'll see how it goes. Welcome to everyone joining us here live on a stream here at the moment. Appreciate you guys joining us on for this race session. Should be an interesting one. I'm told I'm in for a treat, so I'm gonna see how well this race session actually goes. Do look forward to it as well, guys. So yeah, let's see how well this actually goes. I'm trying to switch down to the back here, have a look who else is running on track. Axel Sex is on a lap there at the moment in a Haas. Let's see, finishing off that lap, let's see where that's going to actually take him. Graphics Mega Dub. I'm not sure if that means something good or bad from Records there. Yes, a PNG BRL logo will actually help. I forgot to ask for that one as I didn't have time to actually I didn't realize it wasn't actually a PNG on the Discord. I just used that one there, but I think we'll get it a bit more tweaked coming into next week, but definitely we'll get into that. So guys, yeah, we're gonna be finishing off qualifying 1 here pretty soon. I think we just got about just under 6.5 minutes now remaining here for Q1. And then of course there goes Axe up to P4. Pretty impressive time there. 130.305, not a bad time. Off by 3/10 from I really don't know how to get it. I'm not sure how to get his name. I'm just whatever comes out. It's going in my head, but it's just not coming out. Can someone help with whoever's in P3? How do I go around that name? I'm not even sure how to go about it. I'm quite sure I messed up if we even attempt it. We're not going to attempt it as yet. We'll probably attempt it a bit later on in the session. If he gets on provisional pull at the end of qualifying 3, but we'll have to go on. Will be no choice after that. Either way, guys, let's see what the rest of the grid has in store for us here as we finish up this qualifying session. I think Sofian is still on a lap. BRL Rat on a lap there. Raptor on an out lap at the back, so we're still waiting for some times to come in from them. As you can see though, the lap times have gotten so much more competitive as we got down to the final few minutes here in qualifying 1. Usually every time what happens, it's always interesting to see how it goes like that, and we can see lap times changing very, very quickly out in front. The Mercedes of Hoopolicious now on for the fastest lap time here in Q1, 129.620, not a bad time, 2/10 below. Dayton's second fastest. I'm still gonna skip it again. Axe in P4, 130.305, and Boss Cookie currently fifth fastest, 130.3. We'll see how that changes, of course, going into the next one. Sczther. I'll go with Sczther. Yeah, thank you so much, Richie. I think that works so well. Sczther is like the easiest thing. It was like pronouncing very similar in my head, but just wouldn't. I don't know. I think that's gonna work. Let's go with Sczther. I think Skeeter's fine. If Skeeter has a problem with it, Skeeter's gonna have to message me on Discord how to pronounce that name, or just make it easier, or change this. I don't know. Either way, we'll see. We'll get through it. We'll get through it. Either way, let's go. Where's Raptor on track? I think Raptor might be. Oh, a purple sector 1 is it? So he's might be on for a pretty good lap. Let's keep on with the McLaren here, getting on through this portion of the track. He's into sector 2 here. Got a purple sector 1. Looking to possibly improve his time. Well, he didn't even have a time, so what am I going to say about that? He doesn't have a time as yet. Trying to get a time in and possibly put his car maybe into the top 10 is where he definitely needs to go right now. Try to get a better time in. And yeah, let's see how that's going to work out. So I actually like how the grid has gotten so competitive so quickly coming down to the end of this qualifying session here for Q1. You can see a lot of 130s, 131s, especially those 131s. They're so close together. Just a few 10 separates, maybe a few hundred of a second separate some of these guys. And I think it's going to... I think it's going to get even much closer. You might see separation times by a few hundred to a few thousandths of a second between most of these guys getting into Q3, which we're kind of expecting to happen. Let's see how that's going to work. Sczther, I'm not sure what he prefers on this one here. No offense. Oh, there's a spin from the McLaren. So Raptor got a 130.688. He's up to 6. I think BRL Rat is the only driver without a time right about now. We got a yellow flag most of the track there. I think that's gone though. Hoopolicious currently fastest in the session still, and let's just switch that around a bit. So if you're in the next McLaren, I'll go down to the bottom here though. Have a look at Redeemer at the moment in the Aston Martin and see what the time is. Welcome Skulls out to the stream. Welcome everyone to the stream actually. Good to have everyone on, and hopefully everyone enjoys this session. I'm getting to more to enjoying it very soon here as well. 19 drivers in. Do we have anyone else joining in, or is it going to be 19? So it's not too bad with 19 drivers in the session. Nice parking from the Aston Martin there. Okay, so just about 2 minutes now that's remaining here for Q1, and then of course we head straight into qualifying 2. So yeah, definitely looking forward to mostly, I think, always when it's a full qualifying session, gotta be honest, I always look forward mostly to qualifying 2 and 3. It's where things just generally get so much more interesting in a qualifying session when you're doing a full qualifying. Qualifying 1, just to, you know, get your top 15 out of and get them going from there, and then, you know, it just gets a bit more interesting, especially qualifying 3, top 10. Always interesting to see how close those lap times are going to be when they do get finished with that, and then I did forget to ask one thing though, and if someone in chat could help us out with that. Is the formation lab going to be on or off when we get to the starting grid? That's one information I did forget to ask. I don't want to go in Discord right about now, so I'm just going to ask it on stream. This is the realistic division, guys. It's a realistic division. Formation lap is off. Thank you very much, channel, for that. Appreciate that very much. That does help a lot because I don't like going into the starting grid and not know if the formation lap is on and off. Sometimes I prepare, sometimes I'm not. I know usually most of the leagues do keep it off for obvious reasons. But definitely, yeah, we're looking pretty good here for Q1 so far. Lap times, of course, getting more and more competitive as we get through the session. You get quite a few 130s here and here as well. I think we're about almost out of time here for yeah, definitely. I even forgot what the heck I was saying. Yeah, I think we're almost out of time here for the qualifying 1 session. Should be heading into qualifying 2 in just a bit. Just having a look at the AlphaTouri of BRL Rat here to finish off his qualifying time here. To actually get 1 qualifying lap in. Because he hasn't got a time in as yet. To see where he goes on the grid though. About to get it wrong. And let's see. Gets across the line here. Goes 12 fastest. Not overly bad. I think it's going to hold him there for now. Let's see, how much time is left here in Q1? Just waiting for that sector 2 and 3 yellow flag to go away. And there we go. So qualifying 1, guys, officially we're out of time on that one there. So everyone that's currently finishing a lap will get to finish their set lap, and then we get our results for who's going over to qualifying 2. And then of course we have a interesting run in there. Let's see how well that's actually going to work. Okay, so I think we're just waiting for at least 2 or 3 drivers to just finish off what they're doing on track. Then we should have the results here for Q1. Just I think what we're just waiting for right now, and then of course we get straight into Q2. Of course, qualifying 2 not going to be as long. It's going to be about I think it's 15 minutes there for qualifying 2, 12 minutes for qualifying 3, and then of course straight into our race session. We started I think generally on time, so we should be finished on time there as well. Usually a 2-hour fully full off session to go through. Alright, so we got anyone back into the pits, just sorting that through. We should be on with this now. Okay, so here we go. The qualifying 1 results here for the Japanese Grand Prix so far. Here at BRL Realistic Division. Hoopolicious fastest in the Q1 session there. 129.620, 2 tenths down with Daytona in 2nd. We got Sczther in 3. We got Axe F1 4th. Boss Cookie in 5th. John in 6th. Raptor there 7. Nat in 8th. Alphan in 9th. This track sucks in 10th, Tutas Death 11th, on site port 12, Surfian in 13, we got Cam there in 14th, and we got Mineko in 15, closing off our top 15 as going over to Q2 of course. BRL Rat starting 16th, HK Friday starting 17th, PSR Rex Rose starting 18th, and LTR Redeemer will start 19th on the grid. We're gonna head straight into Q2 now, 15-minute session. Let's see how competitive the grid does get. And they were actually pretty good here in Q1, so it took a bit more, of course, going into qualifying too. Thank you for that. See, it helps. It helps. I know how this track is. A lot of drivers are a fan here of Suzuka, so we'll see how it goes. So there we go, guys. 15 minutes. Sorry, it's 15 minutes there for the qualifying 2 session, and they got our 15 drivers in it. We got Unsighted Port, Nat, Boss Cookie, Sophian, Hoopolicious, John, Cam, Toothless, Dent, Raptor, Alphan, Sczther, this track sucks, Minico, Axe, F1, and Dayton. Bring a few things up on the screen. Have a look on what's going to be happening in this session. I'll leave tires on this as well here, see how this does go. Oh, we got cars exiting onto the track there at the moment. I think, is he the first one getting out again? He is the first one who got out in Q1. Already the first driver to get out here in qualifying 2 as well. Okay, so it's currently following on the Ferrari of Nat here, getting on his outlap currently and getting around the track there. Let's see, let's get on a qualifying lap in just a bit, so we're going to see how well that qualifying lap is going to be, of course. Of course, it's going to be his first qualifying lap here in Q2, so we're not expecting maybe the best of lap times here, but you know, we're expecting still a pretty good lap time in. See how well he manages himself with that. Apologies about a bit of silence, guys. I'm just making sure everything's running perfectly fine with the stream, because recently there's been some few issues. I did fix a lot of different stuff, so just making sure it was still actually running up to quality right about now. So see, everything seems to be fine so far, so we're going to continue on in the session as we have it here. So in qualifying 2, 12 minutes currently left here in the session. We got guys are out on qualifying laps already. A few more guys getting out on their out laps here in Japan, and of course we'll have some times in on the track very soon. I know most of you probably waiting for this race to get underway, but we got to get through the qualifying session. Got to see and sort the guys out for the grid, starting grid, and see who's going to be starting on pole. Who's going to be finishing on pole at the end of the race is going to be a good question. I'm not sure who that's going to be either. I don't even have a guess on it as yet. I'll probably put my probably make some guesses over that as we get through the race session, see what the racing is like as we get through that and how the guys manage themselves. John, their first lap time in a 131.148. I think it was a 130 was the first lap time we got in Q1, was it not? Not there, 130.08. Sorry, 130.805. I was right around that time. I think it was what he got for his first time in over in Q1 as well. Sczther there, 130.4, second fastest. Dayton currently 130.3, fastest in the session. We're in the 130s, John with the 131. We're looking pretty good so far. I think very decent so far at the moment here. Boss Cookie at the moment in the Red Bull, purple sector 1, getting through sector 2, pushing as much as he can. Let's see how this is going to go on through. Of course, guys, do remember, and I guess I'm reminding myself as well because I don't do many of these, but this is a realistic division here with BRL, so cars, of course, not evenly matched here. So let's see how the drivers manage themselves with this. Having a look at Boss Cookie in the Red Bull here, see where he goes after he finishes off this lap. Got a purple sector 1, didn't pay attention to purple sector 2 time was purple or not, but we're going to finish off sector 3. Oh, there we go. Now you're getting to sector 3, my bad on that. So it's not a purple sector 2. Still could be a pretty good lap. Unsighted port in the Ferrari at 130.1. Fastest lap now in the session, 2 tenths faster than Dayton there in the Red Bull. So the Ferrari driver moves past the Red Bull. Let's see if Boss Cookie here can get a better time. Oh, he hasn't got a good time. It's a 151.9. It's a pretty crappy time. Not gonna do it, and we're not gonna count it here. So with Hoopolicious here in the Mercedes, invalidated. Unfortunately, probably exceeded track limits just a bit there on that one there. Where is Toothless Death, the next Mercedes driver here on track? Where can Mercedes put their car here for qualifying 2? Let's see where they're going to be at the end of this. Waiting for, that was a purple sector 1, but an invalidated lap through sector 2. Just as he got into sector 2, that is Toothless Death out with that lap there. We'll have to try that again. Do have a few more times that did come in there. As you can see, Alphanesis in 4th. I think Mineko is 7th fastest now. Boss Cookie down to 8th now. Of course, not the best time as we said before. Got Surfian on the outlap. Cam on an outlap. We got Raptor in the McLaren. I think he's on a lap here. Is he going to finish off this lap here? Is this a fast lap or is this a messed up lap? Is it just a regular lap? Let's have a look. As he does finish his lap, braces. Oh, he doesn't actually brace it too much. I know some of the guys brace into that pit wall corner there and just get on through. It's a 141.4, not the best lap here. He needs to improve that. Definitely needs to improve. He wants to make it over to qualifying 3. See what the case is going to be. Of course, the Mercedes is going to go on for another lap. Hopefully, we'll see what the case is going to be with that. Cam here in the Williams, getting started on the lap right now into turn 1. See what that track is, how that lap is actually going to go, and keep on with the Williams driver here for a bit. Let's see whether how fast the lap times can be here. Boss Cookie now fastest here in the session. The Red Bull driver at 129.6. It's about 5 tenths faster than the Ferrari of Unsighted Port. And his teammate, of course, Dayton in 3rd right about now. The Red Bull trying to dominate on top here in Q2. The Ferrari in the middle of it, out in front. We got, I think is it an Alpine? I think it's an Alpine of Sczther in P4. Alphane in the Haas in P5. Nat in the next Ferrari in P6. John in the next Alpine in 7th. Mineko in the Alfa Romeo in 8th. Raptor and Surfian both in the McLarens. Surfian, of course, still no lap time in as yet, just waiting for that lap time to come in. Hopefully, it comes in pretty soon. We got the Williams still on for a lap here, getting through sector 2 right about now. Let's see how good this lap is going to be. As we're probably right on board for a bit here through sector 2 right about now, finishing off sector 2, about to get into sector 3 on that straight. Let's see, gonna take it flat out through here, make it through in a pretty good lap. Hopefully it doesn't go too wide, keeps it on this curve as much as he can. A bit of heavy braking, of course, getting around here. Gotta be so careful not to lose the rear as you get back on the power here, and of course around the final turn. And it's 9th fastest only for Cam there, 131.2. Gonna try to see if he can get a better lap. I'm quite sure the Mercedes on for another lap here. No, not. He's getting back into the pit lane. My bad on that. Surfian, where is he on track? Purple sector 2 here for the McLaren as he pushes on through for another lap around the Suzuka circuit. And finishing off this lap here. Let's see where it's taking him. Of course, doing this on the softs as well. Gonna finish it off. How fast can the McLaren driver or his teammates are currently? Oh, he does go pretty fast. It's 5th fastest for Surfian, a 130.4. His teammate Raptor in 9th with a 131.2. Not too bad of a time here for him there. Also on pretty good. Port Mercedes out of it right about now. No qualifying time in. This track sucks. Let's see what this crazy. He's trying to get a lap in, I believe, here. Getting through sector 2 still though. Now getting to sector 2, sorry. And Axe F1 in the Haas, still yet to get a lap time in as well, and that's going to go along with both Mercedes driver there. Let's see if they can do something before this qualifying session comes to close. It's just under 6 minutes right now that's remaining here in Q2 before we close out the session, get for our 12 minutes in qualifying 3, and then of course straight into the race session just after that. Well, we can tell why Ritzy is really not driving on this track here. Unfortunately, he really doesn't like it from what we've seen from the comments there in chat. Really dislikes this track. Unfortunate, but it's still going to be quite an exciting race here. Let's see who's on track right now. Hoopolicious and the Mercedes on for a lap here, getting through Sector 1. Just about 4.5 minutes now remaining for the qualifying 2 session. And that's an invalidated lap again. Mercedes not having much luck here in Q2. Sczther, their fastest lap, is it? Yep, it is. And there goes the Alpine driver with a 129.455, 2 tenths faster than Boss Cookie there. Pretty impressive time there from the Alpine. For realistic division, not too bad. XF1 up to P4 now. I think Matt in a Ferrari trying to get another lap in, is he? As he gets to Sector 1 here. Not a purple Sector 1. Of course, I'm going to try and then continue on with that. Ritzy definitely seems to be rooting for Sczther there. Of course, he is fastest here in Q2 so far. Let's see if we can transition all of this over to qualifying 3. Start somewhere on the front row of the grid, or even start on pole. It's going to be quite interesting to see what the starting grid order is going to be for the top 10 when we do get around to that point there. But yeah, so far so good here in the qualifying session for BRL Realistic Division this Thursday evening. It's a Thursday evening, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It should be a Thursday evening. I think I keep forgetting what days or which days. Oh, unsighted port out of the qualifying session, I believe there. He is done for. That's third fastest so far. See, that's going to hold. I highly doubt it is. Now here, purple sector 2 gets through final sector onto the main straight again. And across the line. Goes up to third fastest. The Ferrari driver 129.811. Not a bad time there. And that's about 3 tenths faster than what that sighted port, of course, had there. Trying to have a look what's happening out in front. I think Sczther getting back into the pit lane. Of course, Boss Cookie, the Red Bull, on for another lap here. We're entering the final few minutes here now. Well, final 2.5 minutes that is of qualifying 2. As we're on with Boss Cookie in the Red Bull. Having a look at him finishing off this current qualifying lap. Let's see if does he improve his time here. It's currently a 129.682 holes and second fastest in the qualifying session as he gets around into the main straight. And it's not a faster lap, it's a 130. So it's gonna keep it there for at the moment at least. With the 129.6. Go back down to the Mercedes of Toothless Death in a moment. Still no lap time in. Oh guys, final 30 seconds here in the qualifying 2 session. And of course, it's still on with the Mercedes, waiting to see if they're going to get a lap time in or not. Hoopolicious and Toothless Death, no time in as yet. A bit of change up in the order of the grid at the moment there. As you can see, Sczther still fastest here in the session. So 129.455 for him. Let's see if that's going to be anyone beating that time. On with Toothless Death. Let's see, does he improve? Does he get a better time than anybody in the top 10 right about now? Where does he go? It's P9 for the Mercedes of Toothless Death, 130.613, and qualifying, of course, officially over there right now. On with the second Mercedes of Hoopolicious right now. Can The Mercedes driver put a good time in. It's a purple sector 1. Can they keep this going for the next 2 sectors? Can they get a time in before this session is over? Can they make it into qualifying 3? Toothless Death on the brink of getting knocked off right about now, unless he goes to one more lap there, which he's able to, and gets a better, faster time in. Skeeter's fastest still, Boss Cookie second fastest, Not Out third fastest, John fourth fastest, Unsighted Port fifth, Alphanesis in a sixth, Sophian 7, Axe 8, Dayton 9, Toothless currently 10th, and holding that 10th at the moment. And that's going to be a top 10 going over the Q3, of course, if it does stay the way it is. Let's keep on with the Mercedes here. Hoopolicious on for the final sector right now. Final chance here to put that Mercedes into qualifying 3. Can they get it done? Let's see what's going to happen. His teammate still on the brink of getting knocked out of that session. As the oh, he does go across the line for a 129.542. Hoopolicious up into P3, but unfortunately knocks his teammate out of the qualifying 3 session. But of course secures a very good position here that should keep him into contention for Q3. I think that's going to be it there, guys. I think the only one left running on track is Toothless Death. Can he come around with an even better time and get himself back in? Doesn't look like it's the case. It's a 130.613. Speed 12 for a Toothless Death, and that's it, of course, for qualifying 2. We'll have a quick look at the results here for the Q2 session, then into qualifying 3 we go. Okay, so here we go. The qualifying 2 results. Okay, so far for the Japanese Grand Prix with BRL Realistic Division here this evening. It's Dayton currently fastest in the Q2 session there. Skeeter second fastest. Hoopolicious third fastest. Boss Cookie currently fourth. We got Nat in fifth. John in sixth. 7 for Unsighted Port. Then we got 8 for Alphan. 9 for Surfian. And 10 for Axe. That is our top 10, of course. Heading over to qualifying 3. Looks like Raptor starting 11. Tutas, that's start 12. Miniko starting 13. Cam in 14. Distract Sucks will start 15th on the grid. So with that, guys, so into qualifying 3, of course, this is where we get a bit interesting with everything here on track. We got less than 11 minutes already remaining here for the session. This session, of course, gonna go away very, very quickly. Everyone, of course, running on the soft tires here in this qualifying 3 session. Just under 10 minutes now remaining as we get this on the way. So let's see where we stand at with the grid after this session, of course. Hey, Loveland there, following the BRL Twitch. Thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate that very much there. But you guys appreciate it very much as well. So let's see. We got quite a few cars, of course, on. Let me just get rid of this from the screen. Got quite a few cars here on the track right now. It's looking a bit cloudy, of course, here in Q3. Are we expecting any rain? Are we expecting any possible rain in the rain session? Can any of the drivers possibly point that out for us? Or anyone in the lobby, let us know. Is there going to be any rain here for the Japanese Grand Prix? Usually is the case that there is an instance of rain. But most of these Japanese Grand Prix races, even though it's just a league race, it happens. I've done so many. It happens in majority of them. I've called it to happen. Sometimes it just happens. So we'll see what is going to happen, if we're going to happen or not. It's looking a bit cloudy here in Q3, though. We might be looking maybe some result at the end of the session. If that is the case, it would explain a lot why everyone was such in a hurry to get out on track and get their lap times in. Of course, it's qualifying 3. They're going to just be always in a bit of a hurry to get out on track and, you know, get their lap times in. On sighted port, though, on... Oh, yeah, Hoopolicious with a lap time in first. The Mercedes putting a lap time in first at 129.087. Not a bad time as well. Sczther 130.084. John 130.6. We're getting a bit interesting here. On sighted port off across the line for a 129.4. 410 soft Hoopolicious there. Not a bad time. Let's see what the rest of the grid. And where is Nat on track? Nat on the lap here. We got Axe on out lap right now as Nat gets across fourth fastest. The Ferrari is keeping together here. So as you can see, third and fourth on the grid. The Mercedes going to be second fastest. The Red Bull, of course, topping it off for P1. Of course, that's going to be on provisional pole there for 129.043 for Boss Cookie at the moment. Can he hold on to it, though, going to the end of the qualifying session? It's going to be interesting to see how this works out. It's Axe F1 currently on a out lap, still trying to get a lap started here. We'll see what that's going to be like. We know everyone else is going to be getting out for one more run here around the Suzuka circuit for qualifying 3 to get their final lap times in. To see where they stand at the end of this session. We're getting already a bit competitive out in front. Boss Cookie 129.043 separated from Hoopolicious by just under 400th of a second on sighted port. Just about 4 tenths behind that in third. Not there, his teammate off by 2 tenths. Sczther, fifth fastest, 130.084. Not too far from John by about 6 tenths there. Another 500 of a second, 600 of a second there separates John and Alphon. We are on with Axe F1 right now for his qualifying lap time. Let's see where this is going to take him. Of course, Axe F1 pushing for a pretty good lap time in, hopefully, because he's of course in the Haas. It's a realistic division. This is going to be interesting to see how this works out and which team is going to have their car on provisional pole for the start of the Japanese Grand Prix. Okay, so I think basically most of the cars into the pits right now. Surfiana Dayton, I think they came out on trackers yet. The rest of it, of course, came out, got their lap times in. That's Axe F1 P5 now, 129.7. Not a bad time from him. They're pretty good, pretty impressive for the Haas driver. As he's going to now get back in the pit lane, of course, and yeah, get everything reset back and get back out on track for one final run here around the Suzuka circuit, the only track on the F1 calendar actually shaped like a figure of 8. And it's always an interesting race here. Some of your drivers, not naming anyone, Ritzy, doesn't seem to like the track very much. But yeah, always a fun race for me. I guess in my defense, it's not me driving, so I guess maybe that's why I like watching the races here. So always interesting from my end, from my perspective of the races here. We'll see how well it goes. Ritzy's watching, so let's see if he enjoys watching rather than driving this track, or maybe one over the other. We'll see. So far it's Sufyan there, Dayton, only the two without any lap time in. Looks like Sufyan on an out lap now. We got drivers, of course, who got a lap times in already, now getting back out, as you said, for the final run here on track. It's only about 2 sets of laps they're actually going to get in, with the qualifying 3 session being up. It's about 12 minutes long, of course. And we're down to just about 3 minutes now remaining here for Q3 to close this off and see who's going to be on provisional pole for the start of the Japanese Grand Prix. It's Boss Cookie at the moment on provisional pole. Hoopolicious currently second fastest, Unsighted Port third, Nat in fourth, Axe fifth, Sczther 6, John 7, Alphan 8, Sufyan and Dayton, of course, no lap time in as yet. We're waiting to see when they're going to get that lap time in, if they're going to get a lap time in. The McLaren significantly slowed down on track here. Let's see what the order is going to be with that. On with Boss Cookie right about now in the Red Bull, getting through the final sector on this lap here. He's going to go for one more lap after this one. Might just be the case, but he has the time to get this done though, if he wants to go for one more lap in that Red Bull on the same set of tires. Let's see how this works for him as he gets across the line. Is it improved? No, he's not improving on that. I don't think he did. It's a 129.043. Anyway, he's still in the 129.0. And that, of course, still holds him in provisional pole. I'm quite sure he's going for one more lap there. On with the Ferrari right now of Unsighted Port there. Purple sector 1 so far. So he's improved upon that sector there. Let's see what sector 2 has in store. Can he get through sector 2 and possibly get it on a purple as well? It would be interesting to see that happen at this point. Right on board for Sczther's a lap. Where is Sczther? Let's get on board with him, as someone wants to see here on board with Sczther here. In the Alpine, he's on for his final run here on track. It should be his final run on track to get a better time in. Currently 6th fastest on the grid here, Sczther. 130.084. Let's see. Let's see where he put this car. Can he put his car any higher up on the grid? We need quite a few more cars currently on their qualifying laps in the final portion of this qualifying session. Under 40 seconds left right now to close off Q3, of course. And let's see where Sczther goes when he does end off his lap. I don't think he got any purple sectors, did he? This is getting through sector 2 right about now. Still looking a bit cloudy here on track. Still waiting to hear if we're going to have any rain in the race session. Not sure as yet. Final sector. That was a purple sector 2 there for Sczther's lap. Not sure what the sector 1 time was. I don't think it was a purple sector though. Was it? If anyone saw that. So Sczther getting across the line here right about now. Where does he improve and go? Third fastest on the grid for Sczther, and it's a 129.221. The Alpine driver currently should be starting third in the grid Let's see if that's going to be denied. John currently for 6th. Where is the Mercedes? And going very, very slow. That's going to be it for him. The Red Bull of Boss Cookie. Final run here around the Suzuka circuit. Can he improve his per lap time to keep himself ahead? The Mercedes is done for at the moment. Not going to be able to improve that lap time. Currently stuck in 2nd fastest. Can he be starting on the front row along with the Red Bull? We'll see what the case is going to be. Would it be quite an improved lap there if he is able to start right there. The Ferrari on sighted port going on through here. I think most of the guys are finished off. Axe F1 Alphane, that's not out of the qualifying session as well. Dayton still no lap time in. Will be starting 10th if things continue the way it is there right now. Go back with the Red Bull of Boss Cookie here as he rounds about the final few turns right about now in sector 3. And let's see if his lap time will be improved. Can he beat his own lap time? He's going to go back into the pits. Not even going to try this. Doesn't really see the point to it. I think he's quite confident he is going to be starting on pole. Looks like he will. Axe F1 in the Haas coming around. And is the only driver left running a lap here as he's going to cross the line. Does he improve from P8? I think he did, but not by much. But still, looks like Boss Cookie has held on to provisional pole out in front. The Mercedes held on to 2nd. And of course, Sczther there now down to 4th. Oh, it has changed. Dayton goes up P1. That's where the change of order went. The Red Bull is holding out. It's a front row lockout from the Red Bulls here for the starting grid for the Japanese Grand Prix. This is our starting grid order. Dayton starting on pole. Boss Cookie starting 2nd. Hoopolicious will start 3rd. Sczther starts 4th. Unsighted Port starting 5th. Axe F1 starting 6th. Nat starting 7th. John 8th. Alphane in 9th. And Sczther in 10th. But what a qualifying session. The Red Bull drivers have completely locked out the front row. The Mercedes and the Alpine starting on the 2nd row. Ferrari and the Haas on the 3rd. Got a Ferrari and the Alpine on the 4th. And the Haas and the McLaren on the 5th row for the starting grid there. We're going to head straight, of course, into the race start right about now. No formation lap on, so we get straight the lights out as soon as we get on track. And let's see how the opening lap of the Japanese Grand Prix here for BRL Realistic Division round 13 will go. All right, here we go, guys. 5 lights on. We got 2 Red Bulls on the front row, the Mercedes and the Alpine on the 2nd row. How well does that start go? Let's have a look on board. The Mercedes driver right now. The 2 Red Bulls going side by side. It looks like Boss Cookie gets out in front of Mercedes alongside the Red Bull into turn 1 on the inside. Looks like he tries to get ahead into 2nd place. He does get ahead into 2nd. Dayton trying to get back in place here. Not again. Looks like we get that position back though. The Alpine holding on there in P4 as it is right now. Nat and X F1 I think trying to fight it out at the back there for P4 at the moment. As trying to have a look down the order and see what's happening, but the top few cars gets away quite well. We got a mix of cars on the back of the grid, quite close gaps of course. We're looking at Sofyan there in P9, only a 10th behind the Haas right about now, trying to see how well that's going on through for him. I'm gonna follow down the order of the grid very soon, see how everyone is managing through. John here pretty close off with the Haas in front of him. Let's have a look what's happening behind, because it's Alphane and Sczther coming through, and looks like those two are coming side by side behind him, and there goes the McLaren on the inside of the Haas and gets up quite well. He's he's going to hold on to the top place position of getting up into P8 there for now at least. Out in front, looks like Boss Cookie still leads the Grand Prix. Just a spin from both drivers, and we actually barely caught that one there. That's going to be definitely an incident worth looking at by the stewards. It's going to be a yellow flag there in sector 2 for that incident caught there. And they'll get back out in front, having a look at the, actually going on further down the order of the grid at the back here, having a look at HK Friday and Alphon right now on with the Alfa Romeo here. See how close that gap is, and he's really trying to get for an overtake. He's trying to run the outside, being followed of course by PSR Wexero at the moment. Wexero trying to get ahead. Can he do it? And he holds on to his position, but Friday is up ahead. He's up to 13th on the grid. Boss Cookie, fastest lap of course in the session, leading the Japanese Grand Prix on that open lap. Gets up into lap 2 right about now, going back on the further up in front of the grid. John at the moment here side by side with the Haas of Axe F1, and he is up into 6. Axe is down to 7. Gonna try to get that back. There's still wheel to wheel going on through in sector 1 through the S's, and I think the Alpine went off track. He's back on track again, trying to hold the position. I'm not even sure how he got the car back on track that quickly, but for some reason he's held on to the position so far. And the Mercedes of Toothless Death though trying to keep up with him. It's gonna be a bit of a chase getting for P7. A very close gap as far as we can see. Out in front, the Mercedes of Hoopolicious holds on to second place in this race. The gap though between him and Boss Cookie there for the lead, it's a 2-second gap. So the Red Bull is getting away out front and just creating a bit of a gap there. It's going to keep the Mercedes out of DRS advantage when we head into lap 3, which is really not a good sign there at the moment for the Mercedes team. Dayton there, the next Red Bull, running third at the moment, half a second behind that Mercedes. We'll see how the chase goes on for that position. I'm trying to follow on through the rest of the grid. Wex rode down in the back here. I think he has a pretty close gap with Friday. I think he actually followed him through the grid to see how that's going to go. Let's go down way down to the back of the grid. Actually, we're 15th position. The PSR Wexford at the moment. It's only a 10th with him and the Alfa Romeo. He's going to try this on the inside. Does he get the position up? He goes a slightly bit off track here, but he does get the position. He's up to, and I think that he's going to be stuck around the outside though. Has to give the racing line back to the Alfa Romeo there. DRS is now online as we head into lap 3 of 27 here for the Japanese Grand Prix. It's a chase down the main straight with Wexford going on the inside of turn 1 against the Alfa Romeo, of course, of Friday. Friday is going to have to see that position. He's back down to 15th right now. Wexford up to 14. Chases on to get to the Haas in front of them. Let's see if he's going to create a gap, or is Friday going to come back at him for that position. But Wexford here in the AlphaTauri holds that position P14. Pretty good overtake from him. I think he's going to continue on through with that. Out in front, trying to keep an eye, see what's happening with the gaps as we have them there. Dayton keeping his gap half a second between him and the Mercedes. The Mercedes falling back though from Boss Cookie, who's extending his lead by about half a second since we have actually last looked at them. Out in front there, just a bit of a gap, a few tenths between most of the drivers on grid here as we get this race through a lap 3 at the moment. I'm just having a look at the back here. Miniko, they're 17th, Surfian 16th. They're all running behind Friday at the moment, of course. Just ahead of that, Wexford, who we're following on with right about now, having a look behind as you can see them coming, but a bit spaced out. They have some gaps, of course, to work with and catch up if they want to get up into another position here. Going to be a bit difficult. Wexford trying to keep his gap about 3 to 4 tenths behind Alphon here for P13. Can he get that move done? We'll see what the case is going to be, but a pretty close gap so far. Looks like Unsighted Port here is running about a 3-10 gap towards the Mercedes of Toothless Death. That Mercedes might be under a bit of pressure as the gap is starting to drop right now. The Ferrari on for the position. He's going to try for an overtake, maybe into turn 1. Let's see, does the gap get close enough as we get down that main straight though. The slipstream advantage is pretty strong around here on the main straight, but it hasn't been strong enough for the Ferrari. He wasn't close enough to actually use that to his advantage. Of course, needs to just adjust a bit of ERS as well to make sure he can get the move done. We're going to move up, of course, P3 right about now with the Mercedes of Hoopolicious chasing after Dayton, who got past him. Dayton up into second place in this race. You actually just didn't even notice that. I didn't even actually see that happen. So the Red Bulls are leading this race P1, P2 at the moment. Are they looking to finish with both cars on the podium as a 1-2 finish right where they started? We'll see what the case is. But Dayton did start on pole. Boss Cookie started second. They switched positions, but the Mercedes coming back at Dayton right now. He's close back the gap. Just about 2 tenths, and he's going to continue on through. Sczther there in P4. He's in the mix of this. The Alpine driver in P4, 8 tenths behind the Mercedes, and the Red Bull continue on through. We're following on with the battle as we can look on board from the Alpine's point of view here. What's happening with those two out in front? Nat, of course, coming just behind in the Ferrari. As you can see, he's running in P5. Has a bit of a gap towards Axe F1, of course, behind of him. Half a second is where the gap is. Just see if you can keep it around that there as we continue on here. Lap 4 of the Japanese Grand Prix right about now. We're about to go into lap 5. And not a single instance of a safety car or a VSD here on track as yet. Bit of an issue on the opening lap though, as we did saw two cars coming together a little bit. No, it doesn't look like they had any major damage. Here goes the Mercedes on the outside of the Red Bull into turn 1. Can Hoopolicious get back to position? Looks like he does. He's back onto the racing line before they even get into turn 1. So the Mercedes back into contention for second place here. Can't seem to break the gap towards the race leader though, so it's a bit difficult on that end. Dayton under pressure right now from Sczther. Let's have a look on behind. What's happening with the Alpine chasing after the Red Bull right now? The Sczther somehow is closing that gap after the Mercedes got past the Red Bull here. That of course closing his gap towards Sczther. So it's the second to fifth, I think a pretty good battle between them. Boss Cookie getting away pretty well out in front in this race right about now, as you can see him going there. I'm trying to have a look. Where else do we have a close gap? Friday down at the back there in the grid. 17th on the grid right about now as he chases after BRL Rat right now. Half a second is what it's gone to now. And it's kept a bit constant. Wex, Rowe, and Surfian switching positions, is it? 14th and 15th on the grid right now. We'll have a look in just a bit, see what's happening at the back. But out in front here, looks like Boss Cookie, of course, into lap 5 of this Grand Prix, leads the Japanese Grand Prix right now by 4.4 seconds against the Mercedes of Hoopolicious. So a pretty impressive lead from him there. You can see, I guess, why he is leading the Drivers' Championship right now. Dayton running third. Sczther, I think he closed the gap, or no, he doesn't that much, but he's kept it under a second, so he does keep having that DRS advantage. The Red Bull trying to get back at the Mercedes here, of course. On the main straight they go again. Can he get him on turn 1? I don't think he's close enough. Needs to have a gap of less than 2/10 to take it into turn 1, and he does close the gap against the Mercedes. So close behind, right up to the rear. Has to be so careful with braking here to get through the S's right now, but definitely close enough to attempt to move on the upcoming lap at least, if not on this lap here. But the Red Bull are pushing as much as they can. Dayton 5/10 behind Hoopolicious right now, who is still losing time, of course, to a race leader there. Boss Cookie out in front. Sczther keeping his gap under a second. He's keeping his head under. He's just following on with the Red Bull, trying to see where he's going to be able to get ahead. Not there, P5, Axe F1 in 6. He's falling back a bit by 1.7 seconds. John there, 3/10 behind the Haas in the Alpine. He's trying to get ahead of position. I see that is going to happen after. We're going to switch it on through though. Let's have a look further down in the midfield to see what's happening here. So the Ferrari following on with the Alpine in front, I believe it is. But a half a second between the two of them. Then we got them chasing after the Haas driver here, Axe F1, who is going to start to come under a bit of pressure right now. You can see the close gaps that these guys have going on through the grid order as it is. Let's have a look at tires if we can at the moment. Tires that these guys started on, because they have mixed strategies here. Some of these guys on the hards, some of them on the mediums. No one started on the softs, apparently getting on through. They want to take that chance after expecting, of course, a one-stop strategy here for the Japanese Grand Prix. Unless a safety car does change things around for a few drivers here, that of course is going to be changing the strategy a bit. Would have to adjust themselves, and I'm quite sure they're well prepared for that if it does happen. Alphon, they're getting a pretty close gap on the Raptor for a position. John here, and I think who is battling with Axe F1, as Axe F1 is now down to 7. John up ahead in P6, and it's a very close gap still, so can he get it back? Trying to have a look if that's going to happen. Wexrow down the back here with the two McLarens. He's chasing after two McLarens here in front of him, but has a bit of a gap with the other one, but he's behind Surfian. It's only a 5-10 gap that he has there right now. Dayton out in front, and we can still see him about half a second behind the Mercedes. Let's see how long that is gonna go on for. But as it is, guys, it is lap 7 of 27 for the Japanese Grand Prix. Boss Cookie in a Red Bull leads this race. We got Hoopolicious in the Mercedes running second. We do have the next Red Bull of Dayton running third. Sczther in the Alpine running fourth. Nat in the Ferrari running fifth. John in the next Alpine running sixth. Axe in the Haas running seventh. Unsighted Port in the Ferrari running in eighth. Toothless Death running in at ninth in the Mercedes. And Cam running in 10th. I think that's in the Williams, is it? But we're on board right now with on-site Port chasing after the Haas of Axe F1. Now this lap looks like it might take a new turn getting into the next lap here. Let's have a look what's going to happen. Gap is so close as the Ferrari right up to the rear of this Haas right now. Does he lose any time going through onto the main straight? Let's see. He's keeping it close enough as it is right now. 2/10 is when the gap is, but the Haas has the DRS advantage off of John's car out in front. So that's actually helped them to keep his position here. The Ferrari though keeping as close as he can, getting through. Out in front, we can see a much more extended gap there with Boss Cookie. It's a 5.8 second lead that he has. And why is the entire screen just stuck for a second there? But yeah, guys, definitely a very, very interesting and competitive race. So we were promised a competitive race, and we were given one. Gotta say, we were given one here. It has been quite a bit of excitement since the start of this Grand Prix to this point, especially for me at least. I'm not sure, but the drivers here, some of them probably happy, some of them a bit unhappy, but that's what it goes, how it goes with racing. So yeah, sitting in my seat, and you can you don't have to worry about losing the race. So they'll keep on through on sighted port. He has a 210 gap right about now towards XF1. Let's see if he's going to be able to get this overtake done. But he's kept this line going pretty well so far. As you get on through sector 2 here, we're getting to sector 3. He pushes on through with this race here, and is looking pretty good so far for him. He definitely seems to have the pace in the Ferrari, of course, to get past the Haas here. Should be able to get past the Haas, but the strategy, almost a bit of, there was a bit of contact. I think there was a bit of contact with the Ferrari and the Haas there, because the Haas has spun around. XF1 having a bit of a spin there, maybe just a bit of a tap from the Ferrari, but caused a bit of an issue. That definitely might be looked at that is towards at the end of this race here. So we'll see how NASCO is going to go. Of course, on board with Skeeter. Let's have a look at the Skeeter's lap here. Chasing after Dayton right now. He's still under a second and running a bit of constant in this race here. P4. Of course, he's going to be trying to get up onto a podium place. Let's see if his strategy will work out. Boss Cookie on those mediums. He's gotten out in front. And then we got two drivers on the Haas running behind of them. Then John there on the mediums again on sighted port. 1.4 seconds now behind John. Is falling down a bit in the order as it is right about now. Let's get back on the overhead cam here for a second and see what's happening with Dayton here. Very close gap to Mercedes once again. Can this be an overtaking lap here? Doesn't look like it's going to be the case. He does need to close that gap so much more towards the Mercedes if he wants to get past. But it gotta say, guys, it's been a heck of a race so far. It's only 9 laps in the Grand Prix, and it's very exciting at this point. So let's see how the rest of this has to play out. Get back on the overhead cam if you can. Not able to switch on the overhead as yet. A bit tricky on this track with some points. Bit of late braking, of course, trying to close the gap. There goes Boss Cookie, fastest lap in the session, of course, 6.7 seconds ahead of the Mercedes right now. Look how much the lead is. Who is this guy and where did he come from? And why is the gap so big between him and the rest of the grid? You see the Red Bull, of course, closing in the gap right now towards Hoopolicious. Yes, finding it very, very difficult to even attempt an overtake on the Mercedes. I mean, they had a switch before, but the Mercedes got it back. Fought very well for it as well. I think they're going to try to keep that position all the way through this race. Let's go down the order just a bit here. Unsighted port once again in a battle with John now. That's about 3/10 is what the gap is. Chases on, of course, to see where he can go. I'm trying to see where the Ferrari will land. And this looks like he's closing the gap right about now. Yes, actually is keeping it about 4/10. That's what it is right now. And looks like he's going to start to close the gap a bit here. Skeeter looks like he's falling out of that 1 second range. He's going to lose the DRS advantage if that happens. He needs to keep his car within a second of the Red Bull to keep that advantage aligned there. Let's see if he's able to do that. And this track sucks under pressure from Sofyan right now. 3/10 is when the gap is. Okay, the McLaren trying to chase after him. Here goes the overtake. Is it going to happen into this turn? No, it's not. It's going to hold the position. Unsighted port right up to the rear of the Alpine. Almost went for an overtake. Didn't want to take a chance on the main street heading into the next lap here. Can do it into turn 1. Is the gap close enough? He has the straight line speed here through the main straight with a slipstream advantage as the Ferrari moves ahead now. And he's already up ahead of John here on sighted port into P6. Behind his teammate now, 4.9 seconds behind to be precise here. And of course, going to continue on with that. Let's have a look at these two now. Sczther and PSR Wexford back at it again. The back of the grid here is a 210 gap between them. The McLaren ahead, the AlphaTauri behind. BRL Rat behind them here. Let's see how the battle between these three progresses on through now. So it's both AlphaTauri running behind Sczther. So it is a bit of pressuring of a race for him there to keep that position if he can. Let's see how well this is gonna go. Its gap has gone away just a bit here. We're gonna switch it back out in front though. Have a look at Dayton right now. 210 gap with that Mercedes. Look how close they get into that turn. We can see Sczther coming back there in P4. As we head down into the next lap here, the Red Bull getting a bit twitchy off that final turn. Of course, chasing each other into turn 1, getting over to turn 2, but still no overtake attempt here from the Red Bull. Just not close enough to get this done. It's a 5-second penalty right now for speeding in a pit lane. Goes to Cam there, unfortunately. Got a few drivers taking some pit stops in this race right now. It's lap 12 of 27. We're going to approach, of course, the halfway point of the race pretty soon. So those on the mediums would be thinking about taking a pit stop right about now to get on to, I'm assuming, the hard tires to finish off the Japanese Grand Prix. Is what the strategy is made. Those on the hards, of course, going to be pushing this all the way maybe up to lap 15, 16, maybe even lap 17 if they need to. And then possibly going to the mediums. Of course, they have to see how much can they manage with the tires, how far can they push them in this race, and how much grip are they still having in terms of being contention or being battle with another car here. Because they are significantly being chased most of the time by another car trying to get their positions. They got to be so careful with this. And Wexford all the way down in 18th now as he took a pit stop. Fresh hard tires on. John took a pit stop. Fresh hard tires on. And of course, Cam as well. Fresh hard tires on. He took a stop. And he got a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane, unfortunately. We'll wait and see when our race leader decides to take. Oh, there he goes. Boss Cookie into the pit lane. The one Red Bull in. It's kind of spaced out enough between the two of them for them to actually double stack the Red Bulls. I highly doubt they're going to do that though. I don't think they're running on it. So they're not running on the same strategy. So they're not going to do that. Okay, so back on with this. Let's have a look what's happening out front. So our race leader just took a pit stop, went into the pits, got onto the hard tires, of course, from the mediums that he started on. So Boss Cookie is now running P6 in the grid at the moment. Out in front, leading the Grand Prix is now Hoopolicious, the Mercedes, and Dayton, the Red Bull, running second. Sczther now running third, and that's our top three at the moment. Not 4 seconds behind, running in P4. On sighted port in fifth. Let's see if Boss Cookie is able to catch him and gain position before these guys out in front decide to take a pit stop here. Well, lap 13 of 27, so let's give this the halfway point, of course, of the Japanese Grand Prix right about now. Let's see where we're going to be when we do finish up this race, and see who's to be finishing on pole. It's quite an interesting session so far. Out in front, half a second, less than half a second between the top two as we continue on in this race. And then, of course, no pit stop as yet. I think Dayton, of course, will wait for the Mercedes to go in. He's going to follow him in. I'm quite sure that's what the expected strategy is right about now between them. But of course, they're both on the hards, which is started on, so they're not going to be taking a stop at this point in the race session. They're going to push on through just a bit more before they even decide to attempt that. Let's go back to PSR Wexrow at the back of the grid here. He's been involved in quite a few battles. Supply Raptor there, 3 tenths behind. This track sucks, and I think Wexrow just falling one behind that as well. So let's see how this is going. Of course, Raptor, I think, with a penalty. So is John as well. Sufyan into the pits there. And we can see a bit of close gaps happening here as we have a few cars trying to go side by side. This track sucks. Raptor involved. Wexer in the middle of it. And I think it's Sufyan as well. In front of them, I believe it is. Let's have a look. Yep, he is in the front of this battle going on through. Let's see how this is going to end though. It's only a tenth between, I think, most of them. The 4 of them that's running there. And of course, fighting for positions. We got this track sucks. Is stuck between 2 McLarens here. And not the best place to be. It's right up to the rear of Sufyan's car, trying to get ahead here. Is he going to get ahead? Raptor behind of him by really not that much. Wexer follows on through behind that McLaren, who's under severe pressure right now to hold that position there. So let's see who's going to hold on to positions here. We got Boss Cookie, of course, getting the fastest lap there on some new tires. Of course, why not? I've got a few more cars taking some pit stops here up on top of the grid as on sighted port, and I think XF1 in the pit lane right about now. On with the McLaren of Raptor here. Got this track sucks in front of him. Sufyan in front of that as he's going to try to push on the inside. Now side by side with PSR Wexrow as these two try to go through the final few turns onto the main straight. The McLaren ahead of this. Wexrow going to come back at him. Possibly into turn 1. He's using the system advantage. He's being forced around the inside. And let's see how this works out for the 2 of them as they get on through. Wexer on the inside, the McLaren on the outside. Wexer tries to hold on the head, but he's not able to get it as yet. Raptor holds on to the position though. Looks like Wexer has the seed for P16 for now. But interesting battle between these guys down at the back of the grid here. Out in front, we can see a bit of a change in the order as well. Not really change in the order, but Hoopolicious leading the race still. Sczther now second, as Dayton took a stop. Did he take a stop or not? You know, he didn't take a stop. He's down to 4th, not running 3rd now. Boss Cookie in 5th, trying to work his way up the grid order as it is there. And we're going to stay on with this battle here for just a bit more to see how this plays out. Let's get on board actually, or the PSR Wexer right now. As you can see, all 3 cars in front of him in the battle here for positions. Of course, this track sucks in 14th. I think that's what they're going to be fighting for. Wexer 2 tenths behind. One of the McLarens here has both McLarens in front of him. Gaston is not that slow, but all the way. Oh, Redeemer out of the session. I think he might have retired in the pit lane, did he? I'm assuming he probably did, I'm not sure. Out in front, what's happening with those 2? This track sucks and Sufyan fighting for positions, of course, coming through the final few turns. You'll get both McLaren stuck in the middle of this battle. Can they get out of it? Is the question right now. See what's going to happen. Out in front, the Mercedes leads the Japanese Grand Prix. There these guys goes into turn 1 again. The McLaren going around the outside of the Williams. Can he get the move done? You got someone exiting the pit lane there at the same time. And there we got a bit of a spin. One of the McLarens, I think that is Sufyan, got the worst of it there. I think we might have a full safety car here on track, or is it just a VSC? We're trying to have a look on what it is right about now, if we can. You gotta be kidding me, right? You guys saw that, right? Why the heck is the battery though? It was charging all the time. But it's gonna have to make it on true. Not even sure why the controller battery is low, but anyway, let's get back to the battle here. Happening on track. Let's see these two side by side. Hopefully this doesn't go off on us, because without any control, I'm gonna have to turn the steering wheel probably on. I haven't ever used that to do commentaries yet, but we got Raptor getting into the pit lane right now. Wextro on the chart still, getting after this track sucks. Let's see how the battle between those two is gonna play out. Anyway, guys, I'm just gonna follow on this for a second. But I have a second gap with Wexford here, chasing after this track sucks. I'm waiting to see what's happening out in front. Boss Cookie, as far as we can see, he is back up in the podium places right now. He's running second. Hoopolicious is now into the pit lane. Let's see where he comes out when he does get out of the pit lane there. Sczther has taken a pit stop. He's currently running third. Going to be up into second place once this happens. Oh, Dayton spun. That's why he's P4. I thought he was P4. Now he's down to P5. Something? I know something happened to him there. Wasn't entirely sure what happened, but yeah, thanks for that very much. You see Cam, of course, running behind Wexer right about now. 3 tenths behind. We're stuck in one camera angle for a second, guys, because I actually just put the controller on the charger there for a second. I don't have the wire to charge it. It's on something else that the charge is on, but the other wire was disconnected. That's what happened. I'm not sure what the heck. Either way, let it be for a second. Let's see how this goes on through. Looks like Wexro getting up to P11. This track sucks is down to 12. These two going at it here. Can Wexro hold the position? Let's see what's going to happen. Boss Cookie, of course, we can just notice, is back into the lead of this race. So he's back into the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. It's lap 18 of 27. Can my controller hold on to the end of this race? And we're hoping it can, because the battery seems to be dead. It wasn't charging because the wire was disconnected from the charge, and it's a stand-up. It's a weird thing that the PlayStation is on. That's why it was that way. Anyway, forgive me for that, guys. Let's see. We're gonna make it to the end of this somehow. Somehow or the other, we're gonna make it to the end of this session. Looks like Dayton getting a pretty close gap with Nat out front. We'll see if that's going to be going anywhere now. But right here, I'm keeping on with this because this track sucks is chasing after Wextro. I'm trying to... How do I do this? There you go. Let's put it on the cam for a second. See how that is going to go around. So Cam there, 4 tenths behind this track sucks, and Chase is on for that position. HK Friday seems back in contention in this race again. Not sure. Broken Reptile. I'm not sure who decided who goes in what car here in the league, but it was decided that the race running. Are they too good to be in the Mercedes and the Red Bull? I'm not sure. But yeah, we got a Red Bull leading the Grand Prix still. HK Friday looks like he's moving up a position there. Let me get back to control again. Hopefully we got some battery in this. Hopefully Lance is on true. We'll see what's going to happen. I don't want to have to turn the steering wheel on to this. I have to align itself and all of that crap. We should be able to make it to the end. It's lap 19 of 27. So we have our drivers trying to make it to the end of the race on their tires, and you have your commentator trying to make it to the end of the race on his controller. This is an interesting one. Let's see how we're gonna do this. Do we have any batteries in this? Oh, look at that. We got 1 bar with about 3 minutes charging. So that's pretty good. Let's keep it going with that there. So where were we? Where were we and where were we looking to go? The Toothless Death. And the next Mercedes at the back of the grid. I forgot about him, that he even existed here. Oh, they're tier 1 driver. Oh, okay. I see what's happening. Alright, let's go back out in front, guys. Dayton here. Chase is on for the Ferrari right now. He's going to get past Nat for P4. Does get the position. Oh, there's a bit of a spin. Has some contact with the Ferrari. The Ferrari drifts on through turn 1, though, and holds the position there for P5. So Nat is still in this. Doesn't look like he took any damage on that, unfortunately, here. Get Cam in the RB. Cam is running a Williams, I think it is, yeah. So guys, lap 20 of 27 here for the Japanese Grand Prix, going quite interesting. Boss Cookie out in front, back in the lead a few laps ago, has already extended that lead by 5.4 seconds. The Mercedes has no chance of catching up here. Sczther running in third, 2 seconds behind. So top three looking for podium places right now. Dayton was 6 seconds behind that. Where's our close gap? Axe F1 here, within a second of John right now. Possibly our closest gap on track. When you have a closest gap with Toothless Dent at the back here, we should probably have a look at, see how that's going for him. So far, had some things pop up. IRS had to retire. Oh, no problem, no problem. So Miniko and Redeemer unfortunately out of the session. Toothless Death as we're following onward right now, and this track sucks. The two of them involved in a bit of a battle. Axe F1 7/10 behind. Whoever is running as John there, I think. It's an 8 HK Friday in front of this. Friday going a bit wide on track there. What's happening to Friday? The 7:10 gap as we're going to keep on overhead cam with these two going on through right about now. So no major battle out in front of the grid right about now. We have a few minor battles, of course, in the midfield. Hoop can catch Cookie. Where is Hoop? Hoop is 5 seconds behind. Can he catch him in the next 4 to 5 laps? I mean, the safety car will probably slow things down a bit here. Roughly 5/10 a lap. Let's see what the case is going to be. But it's been an interesting race session. Gotta say, it's been an interesting race session here at BRL. Surfiano to the session. Raptor still running. Going to be 16 drivers currently remaining in the Grand Prix right about now. As we get on through Wexford again with this track sucks. Going for it again. Let's see how this is going to work out. Cam running behind of them there. I think in the Williams, is it? Yes, it is. Out in front, Boss Cookie, of course, we know he's leading. Going on through that race. The McLaren is not having the best of the day here. Hoopolicious running second. Sczther running third. Dayton in fourth. We got PSR Wexford closing in on this track. Sucks right now. Let's see if this is going to be an overtake possibly happening. I mean, the gap is getting a bit closer as we get on through. I think everyone definitely has taken their pit stops, of course, by now. It's lap 22 of 27. I think the second half of the race is going away so quickly from us. When I'm looking at the time here, it's 9:38 p.m. for me. I think it's been like a very, very long time. Oh, here's John going on Axe F1. Let's see if that's going to go anywhere because it's a very close gap. I was thinking it's been quite a while since I've actually done a stream, done commentary on a F1 race this late in the night. I'm usually on most with mostly the UK league, so usually do them in the afternoon. Interesting to be up this time doing one of these. And of course, John here. Let's see, that gap is going. Wexford, I'm going to go back to Wexford right away. Let's see if he's going to get down to 2:10s though. When he's done, he's gone back to about 4:10s. Wexford involved in quite a bit of battle down at the back of the grid there. Unsighted Port following on through with Nat there as well. We can see if that's going anywhere or not. The Ferrari is after his teammate here. Can he get past? He's going to be 5th and 6th for the Ferrari at the end of this race. We'll see. Why? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Commentator is Infinite Gamer, mate. Name is on top of the screen as well if you search my tag. That's what this usually is. Until we can go on board on that portion of the track here. I just have a look at Cam in the back here. I think he's chasing after Wexford at the moment. Wexford should be under a bit of pressure. Deserves to be under a bit of pressure. He has been involved in a lot in this race. And let's see how this is going to all close off. Of course, has been quite an interesting race session coming on through. We might have something change though coming down to the end. We'll see what's going to happen. Close the gaps as we can see on this portion here going through. Wexford closing his gap on this track sucks. Then the Williams. There goes AlphaTauri right up to the rear of the Williams right now, getting through lap 23 of 27. We got 4.5 laps remaining here, everyone, to close off the Japanese Grand Prix here at BRL Realistic Division, and definitely quite a race to watch. Let's get on the overhead cam back again, see how this closes off. Out in front, of course, nothing changed. Boscook is still leading the race as it is. Yeah, mate, I do have a Twitter. It's IG Live Esports. The tag is on top, left hand side on the top of the stream. That's the Twitter tag for me. Wexrow here, 5/10 behind this track sucks. I want to see if he's going to be able to get past. I mean, he's been involved. I mean, we've been following Wexrow quite a bit in this race. Even though he's back at the grid, he's been involved in quite a bit of battles going on. I mean, these guys, even down at the back of the grid, it's been so intense with the racing. I gotta say, it's quite interesting to see how it's going. Out in front, it's a bit spaced off with most of our drivers going through, but still, it's been an excellent race so far. I gotta say, it's been a pretty good race to watch. I mean, qualifying, we know qualifying 1's always a bit slow. Qualifying 2 and 3 gets a bit interesting. Here goes the Williams getting a bit under pressure right now from Wexrow. Can Wexrow get this overtake done before this race is over? Come on, Wexrow, get it going. He's having some trouble just keeping closer gap in terms of trying to overtake. The Williams is all over the track right now. There goes Wexrow on the outside of turn 1. Can he get the overtake done though? It's going to be a bit difficult on this one here. He is ahead of this track sucks. He's ahead of the Williams. He holds on through P11. He's continues on through John in front of him. It's a bit of a gap to catch up with just about 3 laps remaining. Let's see what's going to happen in that case, but Wexrow did get the overtake done. Pretty good on his end. He's up to P11, not a bad position to be in right now, and with the race he's been having. And this track sucks, of course. P12, Cam 13, we got HK Friday 14, Toothless Death. The Mercedes in 15th, his teammate running second in this race. 3.9 seconds, he's broken it down by 1.1 seconds, 1.2 seconds now. He's gained off of Boss Cookie there. Can he gain it anymore? Of course, Boss Cookie running on the hard tires. Let's look at that strategy right now. Boss Cookie, the Red Bull, leading the Grand Prix, is running on the hards. Hoopolicious running second, running on medium, 7 laps old. This is about almost half of that life of the tires for the latest leader. And of course, on the faster tires as well. So can the Mercedes really break this gap down before the race is over? You're running out of laps though, so let's talk about that as well, because it's lap 25 or 27 right now. The race leaders are into final total of 3 laps, you gotta say, for the race here. And then of course we close off the Japanese Grand Prix as things are right about now. Wexrow has done a pretty good job here getting up to P11. He's trying to get away right now from this track sucks. Let's see if he's going to be able to pull that off or not. I think it's much closer gaps on the back of the grid, which just explains why we're kind of stuck looking at things at the back of the grid here at the moment. And I think we're going to first follow on through maybe for a lap more. I might put the controller back on the charger for a second, for at least 1 lap, so make sure we have battery to make it to the end of the race. As we said, drivers are trying to tear the tires to the end of the race. We're trying to get this controller to the end of this race. Alright, the Williams, of course, on it here right now. Wexrow is under pressure once again. Can he hold on to P11 in this race? Because this track sucks. It has something to say about it. Cam, of course, on the other hand, is coming behind as well. It's both Williams now charging after the AlphaTauri of Wexrow. We got HK Friday running at 14th. He might just be in contention with that. Maybe try to get ahead of them. Toothless Death follows on through in 15th as well. And a bit of contact there with the Williams and the AlphaTauri, as we saw a bit of a tap. Didn't cause any incident, but could have caused a major incident. But let's see, it goes on through pretty well so far. It's lap 26 of 27 here in this race. The penalties are really not that much. We're not worried about them. I'll probably put them on the final lap for you guys though, just to have a quick look on what things are like here at the moment. It's a 3:10 gap with this track sucks and Wexrow. Toothless Death falling down the order, is it? They're switching positions there. It's a 3-second gap between Hoopolicious and Boss Cookie right now. If this was a 100% race, maybe the Mercedes stood a better chance. Sorry that, guys. Stood a better chance of actually taking away the lead of this race, maybe with a strategy. But it's not the way it is. We got where are drivers going right now? We're gonna go back to our race leader, see where they are on track, as we should be entering into the final lap pretty soon. We got a 1.2 second gap with Sczther and Hoopolicious here, closing in as we get on through this race. Go on to one-sighted Port and his teammate here. 7/10 between the two of them. I think that's kept as the way as it is. HK Friday in 14, 3:10 behind Toothless Death in the Mercedes. Is that going to be a change up in the order? 410 gap, as you can see. HK Friday still pushes on through for this. I think our race leader now entering into the final lap. There goes the Red Bull of Boss Cookie into the final lap of the Japanese Grand Prix right now. Hoopolicious, of course, coming along in second. Let's see how the order is going to finish. Penalties, let's bring that online. It's only a 3-second penalty for John and Wexro. 11 seconds for Cam. And, of course, 6 seconds for Raptor. The two of them, of course, going to finish right where they are. John, let's see, is he going to be affected? Doesn't look like it's the case. Wexro going to be affected because has Distract Socks, Sczther, and HK Friday within a total of a second behind him. So he's going to be losing at least 3 places in this race as it is there right now. So we know what the penalty situation is. We're going to go down to the end of the lap on this. Hoopolicious 2.8 seconds, and you guys called that right. He was able to break the gap down, but on the final lap of the Grand Prix, it's down to 2.8 seconds. He needs a few more laps here to actually get this gap down to 2/10 and get that overtake done against Boss Cookie, who is currently leading in the Red Bull here as we get on through this final lap here, and we're about to get into the final sector, of course, of the Suzuka circuit here for the Japanese Grand Prix. Has been definitely an exciting race here, guys, as we had a all front row Red Bull lockout on the start of the Grand Prix, and it was Dayton starting on pole, Boss Cookie starting just alongside his teammate second on the grid, and of course it's Boss Cookie coming around the final turn right now to win the Japanese Grand Prix, and that is an incredible finish for him, extending his lead in the Drivers' Championship. Of course, Hoopolicious crosses the line, second place on the podium for the Mercedes. Sczther here gets across for third place, final step on the podium. Not a bad finish for the top 3 right now. Got Dayton, who started on pole, of course, unfortunately finishes 4th on the grid, not securing even a podium place, but still pretty high up, pretty decent points there for Red Bull. And we got Nat here finishing across the line, P5, the next Ferrari driver, P6, the Ferrari, 5th and 6th on the grid, Axe, F1, and Alphan, 7th and 8th for the Haas drivers there at the moment. BRL Rat, P9, as he comes across the line here now. We got John here, drivers with penalties now, so let's bring penalties online for this. But it's a 3-second penalty with a 4.5-second gap to the car behind, so Wexro will have to get across the line for P11. That's where he finishes, but John takes P10. That's our top 10 finishes, and Wexro goes down the order now. Like I say, Distract Socks finishes 11, Toothless Death in 12, Wexro 13, Cam 14, HK Friday will get across the line for 15th. Of course, we're going to have one final look at the driver standings, the race results here, preliminary race results before the stewards get involved in this. BRL Rat for driver of the day from the game there. Not too bad of a session from him. Definitely some exciting racing from the guys here, BRL Realistic Division. Now guys, let's have a look at this. Okay, so here we go. Race results here for the Japanese Grand Prix Breakout Racing League Realistic Division. Round 13. It's Boss Cookie there on pole for the finish. Red Bull winning it with the fastest lap as well. Hoopolicious finishing second on the podium. Sczther third on podium. Dayton fourth. Nat in fifth. Unsighted Port 6. Axe F1 in 7th. Alphan in 8th. BRL Rat in 9th. And he got out driver today. I think there it was. 10th for John. Distract Socks 11th. Got Toothless Death 12th. PSR Wexro 13th. HK Friday 14th. Cam in 15th. Raptors I think and Sofian, Binico, and Redeemer. I think they were not able to finish the race session, was it? So unfortunate for the drivers that did not get to finish a race. I think it was from Surfian now. Raptor finished across for 16. So unfortunate who didn't get to finish a race session. But yeah, that is there guys for the Japanese Grand Prix. Thank you to everyone who joined us here live for this race session. I'm Infinite Gamer from IG Live Esports. Thank you guys for joining on me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the commentary, and hopefully I get to do this again next week with you guys. So until then, that's gonna be it for the session, guys.